And just like most programs, you've got your file, which has your save, etc., edit, all your different main menus up the top here. Okay, to start off with, we're going to learn about this first group of tools, how to pick things up and move them. We're going to learn how to add some type and how to manipulate type, because they're the main things you'll be using for this typography assignment. Okay, get your type tool. Now, see how it's got that tiny little triangle in the corner? If you click and hold your mouse, there's a fly out menu with a whole lot of extra tools. We're just going to use the very top basic type tool for today. Though if you have used Illustrator before and this is too basic, please experiment with all of the fly out ones here. Okay. When you use your type, make sure to activate it. You just click once and start typing. Whatever you do, and I've just clicked my pick tool there to bring up this bounding box. Whatever you do, don't get your type tool, click and drag a box and then start typing. I'll show you why. So I'm just clicking my selection tool to deactivate my type tool and bring up my bounding box. Now another thing, I'm going to zoom in so you can actually see what I'm doing. I have minimized my toolbox for today. So usually my zoom tool, etc., are down the bottom here. Just going to move my toolbox up, get my zoom. With a little plus sign, so your zoom tool looks like a magnifying glass. With your little plus sign in the middle, you can make things bigger. If you'd like to make things smaller, you simply hold down your Alt key, your Alt Alt key. Hold that. While you're holding, click your mouse to make it smaller again. Let go and the plus sign comes up. So the reason I wanted to show you the difference between clicking and dragging a box before you type and just typing, you can see what we call a bounding box is in a different spot. With this one, I can drag my box and my type will alter. With this, my box just goes bigger and smaller and the type doesn't do anything. So we don't want to do that one, and we'll just delete it. What we do want is this box, this bounding box around our type. We can make it skinny, we can smaller, we can stretch it in any direction. So let's just delete that. We'll do it again, get our text tool, click. Let's just use the word hello. I'm getting my selection tool. If you want to, what we call constrain proportions, so not let it stretch, but make it bigger with the same proportions, while you're dragging from the corner here, hold down Shift. And I can't stretch it or squash it, it's just going to constrain proportions. So if you hold down Shift, you'll be able to get a far more accurate scaled version. And like other word processing programs, we're going to be able to change your font, your type style. You can add in how big or small you'd like it without having to drag the corners. You can change the color, etc. So we just get our type tool again and notice there's a little box around it. That's because it wants me to make new type. But once I get close to my type, the box disappears and it becomes a cursor, like you'd be familiar with in Word. Click, drag, and you can highlight your type. Go up to the top here, under Character, and you can use your drop down to choose whatever typeface you'd like to use. Now you've already downloaded 3 that you think suit your theme. If you want to change those or get some more or add to it, you can absolutely hop onto font. Okay, so I might select Moonflower Bold. You can, sometimes you'll have regular, italic, bold, etc. But with this typeface, it only has Moonflower Bold or regular. You can enter different font sizes into the box up here. We might stick with a nice big one. Click off it and you can see we've now got our typeface, we've got our size. Okay, you want to change your colors. Over here, you've got your window. The top one looks like an artist palette. So click on that and it's your colors. You've got these 2 squares. One, a flat square. The second one looks like it's got a hole in the middle. If you hover over it, it'll tell you that's the stroke, that's the fill. If I click on the stroke, it comes to the front on top of the fill. If I click on the fill, it comes to be on top of the stroke. So that's whatever one's active at the same time. Over here, you've also at the bottom of your toolbox, now you won't need to move yours up and down. I've just done this so that I've got a better resolution on my filming screen. You've got the same thing down here, stroke, fill. For the moment, let's use this color box. Okay, you've got your black, it's preset. Black fill, the red line means none, no stroke. If you want just simply black, white or none, you've got your little boxes down here. If you want to get a color, you can use this color bar. You can go through and you can click in. So I'm just clicking whatever color I'd like to get. If you'd like to be more specific, you can either drag these sliders. CMYK stands for cyan, which is a blue, magenta, which is a pink, yellow, and black. If you want to add more pink, more blue, you just use your sliders. Less yellow, more yellow, less black. Yep, picture. If you want to be even more specific, you can double click. And that brings up your color picker tool. So if you want a slightly lighter version, you can see here the original, lighter, and go OK. We're going to activate our stroke. At the moment, there is no stroke, so we can click to add a stroke. And again, you can tell, you can change color. And let's just say we want to change the thickness of our stroke now. Again over here, so these are flyout menus just before I go down. These little double arrowheads, flick it back in to keep your workspace nice and clean. This thick, getting to thinner lines is your stroke. You can make your weight thicker or thinner or back to none. You can play with your different corners, whether you want them round, beveled. This becomes more important when you start to draw your own shapes, but at the moment it's more your stroke weight that you want to worry about. Okay, they're the main ones over here that you're going to play with for today's class. If you're familiar with Illustrator, please be using other ones. And please also be using your layers. Okay, I've just changed a few of my colours just so it's nicer for me to work with. Made it a little bit bigger so you can see what I'm about to do. If you get your selection tool, making sure this bounding box is around it, you can hover over the edge of these corners. So a double-ended arrow like this one, and a diagonal, is what makes it bigger or smaller. Adjust the scale. Remembering if you hold down Shift whilst doing